What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin Bats. What a fun weekend of baseball. What a fun traveling week it was for me down in Birmingham, Alabama. Got to tell you all about that. But we got a lot to talk about today, including Shohei's start on Sunday on the mound. I want to do top three rookies in each league as well, because I've seen a couple lists come out from Major League Baseball, really all over the place, talking about the top rookies in each league. And I really disagreed. And I feel like there's some rookies out there not getting enough love. And we haven't really talked a lot about rookies at all this year. So I want to talk about top three rookies in each league. We'll do power rankings as well. In case you missed it, talked about it last week, but Rafi Devers had his revenge games, if you will, against the Boston Red Sox. His second series with the Giants comes against the Boston Red Sox. Insane to me. But shockingly enough, Rafael Devers' first home run as a San Francisco Giant comes against the Boston Red Sox because, of course, it does. Giants do take 2 of 3 in that series. Rafi homers, had a couple hits in the series, looking really good at the plate for the Giants. And we'll see if they climb up the power rankings. But I want to start with the trip down to Birmingham because it was one of the best trips that I have ever taken for baseball. Truly incredible. If you didn't know, went down to Birmingham, Alabama for the East-West Classic game, which will air June 29th. So I believe it's this coming Sunday on MLB Network. They're putting together a whole documentary around the event. But if you remember last year in Birmingham, 2 major league teams went down there, played East-West Classic on the field of the Birmingham Barons, Rickwood Field down there where Willie Mays played, Satchel Paige, all of those names started their career there. So I went down this year, and what it was this year was still the East-West Classic, but it was just names, a blast from the past, if you will. Prince Fielder, CC Sabathia, Curtis Granderson, Ryan Howard, Gary Sheffield, just so many. Scott Kazmir was there. I mean, Chris Young, Xavier Scruggs, just the names go on and on. D. Gordon was there, Jerry Hairston Jr. And look, what I came away with was a couple things. This event was special to play it on the field and to be on that field. And CC Sabathia pitched an inning in this game. These guys played against each other. CC Sabathia pitched an inning, and then after he was done, he said, it just kind of hit me that I just pitched on the same mound that Satchel Paige pitched on. Andrew Jones was there, took part in the home run derby, ended up in the finals of the home run derby. I grew up wearing number 25 because of Andrew Jones and ended up just hanging out with him in the dugout and telling him that story and telling him that I have John Smoltz on the show every single week. And he started telling me John Smoltz stories, which I'm obviously going to share with Smoltz later this week. But he was in the finals of the home run derby. Talked to Jerry Hairston Jr. a lot, who told me my grandpa used to play on this field. And it was just truly a remarkable event for what it means, for what we were celebrating, which was the game was on Juneteenth. So to celebrate that down there in Birmingham was truly so special. To watch the home run derby, by the way, another takeaway, Prince Fielder still has it. If you put together a list of the top players that, that their career ended too short, if you put together a list of players, if you're like, man, I wish I could have given them a full healthy season. Anybody that you could say, man, full healthy season, who's on that list? I mean, it's the King Griffey Juniors, it's Mike Trout, Prince Fielder is on there, Jacob deGrom, but Prince Fielder still has it. This man was hitting balls out of the stadium, over the stadium roof, won the home run derby. I took videos of him during batting practice. I took videos of him in the home run derby. On TikTok, the video of him hitting has well over 1 million views. I mean, this guy still has it. That was a takeaway as well from there. All I'm saying is this trip to Birmingham, Alabama, to Rickwood Field, to the Negro League Southern Museum there in Birmingham, to watching the game, to seeing CC Sabathia pitch against Ryan Howard and Prince Fielder and some of these names that were down there was truly, really special. And on June 29th, MLB Network. Everything from down there will air a little special on MLB Network. So make sure you check that out. I absolutely loved being there and memories that will forever last. I mean, talking to Andrew Jones and just hanging out there was honestly incredible. So, really cool there. Also over the weekend, let's talk Sunday. Let's talk what happened on Sunday with Shohei Ohtani. His second ever start with the Dodgers, back on the mound. He's still ramping up, right? So again, I wasn't expecting 3 or 4 innings. I was expecting maybe 2 innings. Well, we're not there yet. Shohei Ohtani threw 18 pitches, 1 inning, 0 hits, 2 strikeouts, 0 walks. I am telling you, this man looks back. Not back to where he needs to be built up wise, but back stuff wise. He homered in the game. He tripled in the game. It's the first Dodgers game for Shohei Ohtani where he does what Shohei Ohtani does best. Homered in the game and started on the mound. Didn't give up a run. Drove in 5 runs. It's the second time Shohei Ohtani has had at least a homer and a triple in a game that he has started on the mound. Okay? Homered, tripled, started on the mound. He's the only player with multiple games like that in at least the last 125 seasons. 125 seasons. He's the only player to ever do that. He's now up to 26 homers on the year. Hopefully he reaches 30 before the All-Star game, but most home runs before the All-Star game amongst players to start at least 1 game on the mound. 2021 Shohei, who had 33. 2023 Shohei. This year Shohei. It's June 23rd. Shohei has 26 homers. 2022 Shohei Ohtani. 2018 Shohei Ohtani. And then 2001 Mike Hampton had 6. The top 5 are all Shohei Ohtani for players to start on the mound, but most home runs before the All-Star break. I mean, this year offensively, last week plus, he hasn't been on fire at the plate, but obviously a great game on Sunday. I do think it kind of rejuvenates him being back on the mound. Most home runs out of the leadoff spot in a team's first 79 games. Shohei Ohtani now at 26 this year, and that ties Brady Anderson in 1996 with 26 as well. So what he is doing now is just back to what I always say. I think he's the greatest player of all time. And I don't say that because, look, let's compare his offensive numbers to Aaron Judge's numbers, and how can you say Shohei is better? I constantly get frustrated with people that aren't understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying compare their 2 numbers and Shohei Ohtani is the greatest of all time, and then there's Aaron Judge. No, I can acknowledge that Aaron Judge offensively is better offensively than Shohei Ohtani. But what we're missing is that when Shohei Ohtani is healthy and pitching, and I know that's a big win because he hasn't been healthy for the last couple of years. But when healthy and when on the mound, this isn't just some gimmick. Shohei Ohtani has a career 3.02 ERA, a career .2001 batting average against, and a career record on the mound of 38-19. I don't need to tell you guys this, but all of that comes with the Los Angeles Angels, who weren't a good baseball team. But a career 3.02 ERA. In 2023, he came in 3rd in the American League Cy Young voting. This is one of the best pitchers in the game. And in the words of John Smoltz, literally just last week, if he were just a pitcher, if he were just focusing on pitching, he would be one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Now, I believe he already is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, but coming from John Smoltz, that is very, very high praise. Now, look, I'm not saying he's back. I'm not saying like on the mound. I need to see it for 5 or 6 innings, right? We're not there yet. So how can I say? But what I can see is that his stuff is still there. And when it comes to guys coming back from a second arm surgery, often the stuff isn't there. So far, with Spencer Strider returning from his second, the first few starts, stuff wasn't there. Stuff appears to be coming back, but it takes some time. With Shohei, I think we're starting from a point where the stuff is there. He's throwing 100. His sweeper looks really good. So but I still need to see it when he ramps back up to 5, 6 innings to be able to say, okay, guys, look, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball too. I can't yet say that because he's basically coming in and throwing 1 inning and 18 pitches, and maybe I don't think he's letting it all air out, but I can't look. You get what I'm saying. He's not back yet to the pitcher that I think he will be. But he's back to creating history every single time he takes the field. Again, on Sunday, he did that. Players since 1901. Now, that's basically 125 years ago. Players since 1901 to homer and triple in the same game have multiple strikeouts and 0 runs allowed all in the same game. Shohei Ohtani, who did it on Sunday, and Johnny Clipstein, who did it in 1952. That's it. That's the entire list. And that is what Shohei did on Sunday. I just love that we're back to being able to talk about him on the mound and him at the plate. And the reason I will continue always doing it is because I think he is still, in the eyes of many, he's talked about a ton. I don't think we celebrate him as much as we possibly could be. I really don't. I know he's talked about all the time, but what he is doing, first time since 1900, since Johnny Clipstein, since Oil Can Boyd, since Bullet, whatever nickname you want to come up with, all of these guys, we're talking about a player in Shohei Ohtani that we're able to see do these things right now. There will be statistics in the year 3025 that we're talking about Shohei Ohtani. That's mind-blowing to me. And it's incredible that we get to watch him do it in this day and age. It really is. So he's back. Sunday was incredible. Last game, he was a little off on the mound. Obviously, his stuff was still there, but a couple runs given up. Stuff was a little more all over the place. And he said he was a little too amped up. Well, after this game, Shohei Ohtani was quoted as saying, overall, I was able to relax much better compared to my last outing. I don't know if you saw it, but his home run, he homered, kid and his dad sitting in the outfield right where the ball was coming. Dad goes to catch the ball for his kid. Shohei Ohtani homer. He's back on the mound. Let me catch this ball. The dad drops the ball, ruined the kid's day. The dude was hysterical. Just tears and tears and tears. And you know what? I get it. Just brutal. Dad, you had a chance to catch for this kid a once-in-a-lifetime ball. His favorite player, Shohei Ohtani, hits a homer. He's back on the mound. The first game ever for the Los Angeles Dodgers that Shohei starts on the mound and homers. You had a chance to catch that ball, and it just right in the breadbasket, and you just dropped it, and the kid lost it. And honestly, I get it. I get it. Man, tough break there. But Shohei's back on the mound and homering in the same game. Love to see it. Let's talk rookies. I said last week, I think it was early last week, I started seeing these lists of top pitchers in each league or top rookies in each league. And I really kind of disagreed with each list. And I said, next show, I'm going to talk about the top 3 rookies in each league because there's some players I believe aren't getting the credit that they deserve. So let's talk about that. We're going to start in the National League because the names just aren't as good in the National League when it comes to rookies. Getting better over the last month or so, dare I say. But it's not quite the same in the National League. We're going to start there. National League top 3 rookies power rankings. That's what this is. Number 3, I'm going to go Ha-Seong Kim. Now, these numbers are elite. He's hitting 372 with a 948 OPS. Now, he's only had 78 at-bats, but this dude is a stud. Comes over from the KBO, an exciting signing, and then all of a sudden we hear, okay, Dodgers, he's going to start the year in AAA. He's not going to break camp with the team. He's not going to be a big leaguer. In the first couple months of the year, we don't see him at all. So now he's up and he's tearing the cover off the ball. He's playing second base. He's playing center field. He's playing elite positions at an elite level. He's great defensively. He's playing literally wherever you want him to on the field while hitting 372 with a 948 OPS. That's incredible. Now I need a bigger sample size. Okay. 78 at bats. That's nothing in the grand scheme of things. But those statistics are something in limited time. So I had to put him in my top 3 rookie of the year power rankings, which most people weren't at the time. And I get it. Not a big power, not a big sample size, but he needs to be here. At number 2, I'm going Drake Baldwin of the Atlanta Braves. Drake Baldwin is a rookie catcher on a team where Sean Murphy's supposed to be the guy, and Drake Baldwin has come up and just been really a spark plug that the Atlanta Braves have desperately needed. He's hitting 293 with an 834 OPS and 150 at bats this year. He was the rookie of the month in May. He hit 389 with an OPS over 1,000. And this is coming with massive production behind the plate where he's a slightly above average defensive catcher. This dude's a stud. Great arm. But Drake Baldwin deserves a ton of credit for coming in, trying to compete with Sean Murphy, and ending up taking a lot of playing time and forcing his way into the lineup on a lot of days. Drake Baldwin, really good for the Atlanta Braves. At number 1, National League Rookie of the Year Power Rankings, I'm going to go with Jacob Misiorowski. Now, you all can say a couple things here. 1, who is Jacob Misiorowski? 2, how can you talk sample size and put him at number 1? If we're talking power rankings, I'm talking Jacob Misiorowski at number 1. And it's plain and simple. I think this guy wins National League Rookie of the Year. He's an absolute stud. Now, just 11 innings pitched. How can you say he's number 1 with 11 innings pitched? Well, 11 innings pitched and 1 hit. 11 strikeouts in those innings. He's the only MLB pitcher since 1900 to have more wins than hits allowed over his first 2 starts. 2 wins, only 1 hit given up in his first 2 career starts. He's throwing over 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's not like this guy's, okay, he's come up, but who is he? Does he really have the stuff? I mean, this stuff is comparable to anybody else in the game of baseball. He throws over 100 miles an hour. He's got a cutter at 96 miles an hour that moves like a slider. It just doesn't really drop much because it's 96. He is disgusting. Jacob Misiorowski. If you haven't heard of him, if you haven't watched him, please, and I beg you all to watch his next start on Wednesday, because you're not just getting him. His next start comes against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who that day on the mound starting is Paul Skeens. On Wednesday, we get Jacob Misiorowski versus Paul Skeens on the mound. This is electric. We were robbed last week because Tarek Skubal was supposed to pitch against the Pirates one day, Paul Skeens the next day. Tarek Skubal's day got rained out. He got pushed back a day. We got robbed. I have a bone to pick with both AJ Hinch and Don Kelly, now manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, for not making it happen. How can we? 2 different games of a doubleheader, a day game and a night game. Skubal pitched in one, Skeens pitched in the other. Why could we not give the baseball world what we deserve? Regardless, this week we do. Jacob Misiorowski, number 1 on my NL rookie power rankings against Paul Skeens, who we all know is one of the best pitchers of all time through his first year plus of pitching in the big leagues. So that's the National League. On to the American League. Top 3 American League rookie power rankings. This is where it gets tricky. A lot of good names here. A lot of good names that I'm going to have to keep off the list here. But let's start with number 3. Number 3, I'm going with Cam Smith. Cam Smith is really the reason that I needed to do this, because this kid is not getting the love that he deserves. Let's not gloss over the fact that he's skyrocketed to the big leagues. And when I say that, I mean that he was drafted less than a year ago and he makes the opening day roster, which is the 3rd fastest path from draft to big leagues for a position player since 1965. So then he makes the opening day roster. He's productive at times, hit or miss at times. But you know what he's done the entire time? This is a third baseman in the trade for Kyle Tucker. This is a young kid drafted as an infielder that has been told, hey, let's put you in the outfield. We lost Kyle Tucker. We need a right fielder. Let's see what you can do out there. Well, what he can do is put himself among the game's elite outfielder. He ranks second in all of Major League Baseball for outfielders and for right fielders in defensive runs saved. He's tied with Fernando Tatis Jr., who, by the way, in his first year playing outfield, won a platinum glove out there, trailing only Adolis Garcia. These are some big time names. He's tied for second in outs above average, elite range out there. Is a brand new outfielder putting up these numbers, +4 outs above average, arm strength off the charts. These numbers put him in a Gold Glove conversation as a rookie, as the third fastest position player to reach from the MLB draft to the big leagues. All of a sudden, he's playing infield and then going to outfield where he's probably never played in his life. And now he's doing it at an elite level. So defensively, we're talking Gold Glove caliber defense. Tie with Fernando Tatis in defensive runs saved. Offensively, he's hitting .265 with a .739 OPS. Those are above average MLB offensive statistics. He has an OPS plus of slightly over 100. Better than MLB average. In his last 30 games, he's hitting .287. In his last 15 games, he's hitting .321. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .345 with a 1.061 OPS. A couple days ago, he had 2 homers in a game, in a 4-hit game. It's starting to creep up at the plate. He's starting to figure it out at the plate. Again, as a young rookie that was drafted less than a year ago. Cam Smith is a stud, and I don't feel like he's getting talked about enough. I don't. And I don't know if it's because he's on the Astros and just people don't like talking about the Astros. I don't know if it's because he started slow. I don't know if it's because people are just tired of talking about these players that come up for the Astros and all of a sudden produce. I don't know if it's because they're just a factory and everybody's over the factory of players that just come up and produce. I don't understand why we're not talking about Cam Smith more. Gold Glove defense in right field, third fastest position player ever from the draft to the big leagues, figuring out at the plate, multi-home run games, 4-hit games. His offensive numbers just continue to creep higher. He's not Kyle Tucker in right field, but he's an elite defender in right field, and he's a rookie putting out some dang good numbers, and we need to be talking about Cam Smith more at the plate. He is a top 3 candidate for American League Rookie of the Year right now. I have him at number 3. Let's talk number 2. Boston Red Sox, Carlos Narvaez. Dude is a defensive wizard behind the plate. We have a couple catchers, 2 catchers for one in each league right now. Really impressive stuff. He's third in defensive runs saved, 2.2 F-WAR, which is second amongst all MLB rookies and 5th amongst all catchers behind the plate. So he's a stud behind the dish. He wasn't a top name coming into this year as like, let's talk some rookies that are going to be studs this year. Carlos Narvaez wasn't a top name on that list, but he has thrown himself into that. Then talk offensively, how he's had some huge situations. Walk-off homer against the Yankees. He's hitting .274 with an 800 OPS and incredible defense. What more do you want out of a catcher? Top it all off with he's a rookie? If you could tell me, anybody in the league coming into the year, I could have my catcher play Gold Glove caliber defense, absolute stud behind the plate, while also hitting .274 with an 800 OPS, sign me up. I mean, there's only a couple catchers in baseball that if these stats are aside, if I could think of every catcher in the league and say I would take him over just taking blindly somebody with these numbers offensively, .274 with an 800 OPS behind the dish, there's only a couple of names that I would say, okay, I'd take him, and him behind the plate over those numbers. Seriously. I mean, Carlos Narvaez deserves a ton of credit for what he's doing. I have him at number 2 for American League Rookie of the Year Power Rankings. At number 1, this is unanimous here on this show. Unanimous pick. I'm the only one, but it's unanimous. It's obvious. I think if the season were to end right now, he's the unanimous rookie of the year. Jacob Wilson. If you don't know what Jacob Wilson for the Athletics, whatever we're calling them, the Sacramento A's, you gotta look at what Jacob Wilson is doing. But I'm going to talk about it because we're not talking about rookies enough. This kid is hitting 349 on the season. He's been up all year. 349 with an 883 OPS and 9 homers. There's still power. I mean, we're talking about he's on pace for a 20 homer season. Incredible. Not quite. I get he's not at 10 yet, and we're right around the halfway mark of the year. I think, right? We got to be right around. Teams have played 79 games, so we're not halfway. So he's on pace for about 20 home runs while hitting 350 and an 883 OPS as a rookie. Now, if you haven't watched him, this is why I love him so much. He is not your normal player. He's a spaz at the plate. He's moving all around. He's jumpy. He's moving. He swings at literally everything. He's batting .411 with runners on base this year. There's no one even close to 400, but he's at .411. Best in baseball. Just 20 strikeouts and 314 plate appearances. 20 strikeouts and 314 plate appearances. There's players that'll strike out 20 times and 60 plate appearances. He's got 20 and 314. That's best in the American League. He should be, and I think will be, the starting shortstop for the American League in the All-Star game. He doesn't walk either. That's why he's so fascinating to watch. He swings at everything. He puts the ball in play. He doesn't swing and miss. He's hitting 350 with close to a 900 OPS. He's got power. He plays a good defense, swings at everything, doesn't strike out, doesn't walk, just swings and puts the ball in play. What more do you want? This kid is an absolute stud. Jacob Wilson is fascinating to watch play baseball. He's every bit deserving. If we're doing a halfway through the year rookie of the year, it is Jacob Wilson. Considering if he keeps doing this all year long, he will be the unanimous American League Rookie of the Year. He should start the All-Star game. Jacob Wilson is so much fun to watch. If you don't watch a lot of the Athletics, I get it, but tune in just to watch him and Brent Rooker and Mason Miller and Lawrence Butler, who I think is one of the most underrated players in baseball. They got some, and Nick Kurtz, who's hitting all these walk-off homers. They got some studs for the Athletics. Not a great baseball team, but Jacob Wilson and crew can play. So I'm going with him at number 1. So the American League, top 3 American League rookie power rankings. At number 3, Cam Smith. At number 2, Carlos Narvaez. And at number 1, Jacob Wilson. And the theme of continuing along with power rankings, it's obviously Monday. We are going to go 10 through 1 with the power rankings, and I'll tell you where they were last week as well. At number 10, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays. Still playing good baseball, but I kept them here. Look, they're 43 and 35. They did lose the last game of the week against the Tigers, but they won that series. Good series there against a top team in the game of baseball. They're second in the American League East, creeping up more and more on the New York Yankees. I kept the Rays put for now at number 10. At number 9, down 1 spot, the New York Yankees. Yankees went on a stretch of far too long without scoring a run. 20-plus innings without scoring a run. They have won their last 2 games. If they didn't win the last 2 games, Saturday and Sunday, Rays would have flip-flopped with them. They could have potentially been off this list. They were just playing brutal baseball. But 45 and 32, still leading the AL East. I did drop them 1 spot after a really bad stretch. They're 3 and 7 in their last 10 games. Not great. At number 8, I'm going with the San Francisco Giants, up 1 spot. From where they were last week. Look, when I put out these power rankings last week, they had just acquired Rafael Devers. So I didn't say, okay, I'm going to bump them way up because Devers is now on the team. No, I wanted to see how they played. And they did lose the first series, but then they beat the Red Sox in the weekend series. Fun series there. I flip-flopped them in the Yankees because they're just playing better baseball than the Yankees, plain and simple. Giants are 44 and 34 and in second place in the NL West still and sitting in a playoff spot as we sit right now. And number 7, I'm going to go with the San Diego Padres. I'm keeping them in the same spot. Now, the Giants are ahead of the Padres in the NL West standings. Padres not playing the best baseball either. Both of those teams are 4-6 in their last 10. But this is simple. I had the Padres ahead of the Giants last week, and I don't believe that should change based off of this week. The Padres lose a tough series to a very good Dodgers team, and then they win their weekend series. They've won their last 2 games. Each team has won their last 2. So fairly similar weeks. Giants played a better team and the Dodgers than the Giants played in the Guardians, and I don't think they deserve to be hurt for that. So I'm keeping the Padres here at the same. At number 6, I'm going to go with the New York Mets, down 2 spots. New York Mets are 2-8 in their last 10. They go into a big series against the Atlanta Braves, and they got the brakes beat off of them. They got swept by the Atlanta Braves. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. They lose the series to the Braves. They lose the series to the Phillies. They are dropping fast. They were recently at like 1 and 2 in the power rankings. They drop another 2 spots down to number 6. At number 5, I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs, 46 and 31, sitting at first place in the National League Central, but they are 5-5 in their last 10. Tough week for them. Just not a great week for the Chicago Cubs. Dropped them down 2 spots from 3 to number 5. At number 4, continuing to creep up is the Houston Astros. The Astros have the best record in baseball in the month of June. The Astros, as I continue to say and have been saying for years, are inevitable. They are now leading the American League West by 5 games. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're killing it in the month of June. They've gone on quite the run and now have quite the lead in the American League West. It's not the best division in baseball, but they are one of the best teams in the American League for sure. They have they're tied for the second most wins in the American League. So after a not greatest start in the world, the Astros are right back where they have been for the last decade, which is atop the American League West. And they're up another spot to number 4. And number 3, up 3 spots, the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are always a tough one for me because they're so streaky. They will be at the top of my power rankings, and then they'll go like 0-10 and drop down to the bottom 5 in the power rankings and look like they should be out of them, and then they go on another run. Well, they're up 3 spots to number 3. Really good weekend series against the Philadelphia Phillies. They're 47 and 31, which is the second most wins in the National League. Big series coming up against the Astros. That will be fun. So whoever wins that series is probably going to be on top the next power rankings. But Astros, Phillies, fun series coming up. Phillies up 3 spots to number 3. Really good baseball team. Can pitch the lights out, can rake. They're a fun team. They're just so streaky. So catch them when they're hot, you're in trouble. Catch them when they're not, congrats. At number 2, down 1 spot. I did slide the Tigers down 1 spot this week. Not a great week. And then lost the weekend series to the Tampa Rays. They're 49 and 30. They do still have the best record in the game of baseball, but I did slide them down 1 spot just because of the way they've been playing lately. They lose the series to the Tampa Rays. They split. They had that doubleheader against the Pirates. They didn't sweep the Pirates. I think you should sweep them, but it's tough to win a doubleheader, to win both games of a doubleheader. I just slid the Tigers down because they're 5-5 in their last 10. They're not thriving on all cylinders. They lose the weekend series, and I did believe that the team that jumped them is deserving of the number 1 spot now. I've been holding off for a little while. I hadn't had a new team at number 1. It's been over a month with the Detroit Tigers on the number 1 spot. But right now, I am going to jump them up 1 spot to number 1, and that is the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have the most wins in the National League. They are 1 behind the Detroit Tigers, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. They did win the weekend series against the Nationals, and then a really fun, heated series against the San Diego Padres. Best rivalry in baseball. Everybody's hitting each other. The Dodgers are hitting Fernando Tatis. The Padres are retaliating by hitting Shohei Ohtani. They did it twice. The first time I respected it. They hit him in the thigh. The second time, not so much. They threw up around his head. And I don't think that's ever acceptable. I think if you're going to throw at somebody, never do it up around their head. You can seriously injure somebody. They did it right the first time. I like this. I love rivalries. I love that the game polices itself. I love that, okay, you hit our guy, we're going to hit your guy. But you got to do it right. But the drama is there. Really good series, two really good teams. Dodgers play really well in that series, win that. They win the weekend series. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They have the most wins in the National League. I think it's time to bump them up to number one. They're just one win behind the Detroit Tigers, but certainly playing better right now than the Detroit Tigers. So at the number one spot, I am going with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So this week's power rankings, 10 through 1. Tampa Bay Rays at 10. Then we go Yankees, Giants, Padres, Mets. And then the top 5 is Cubs, Astros, Phillies, Tigers, Dodgers. Those are your top 10 teams right now in the MLB Power Rankings. Before we finish up, tomorrow is Tuesday, Dinger Tuesday on Fanduel Sportsbook. And speaking of the Dodgers being hot, there is a player on their team that's not one of their superstars, and Max Muncy, that is in fuego. Couple home runs on Sunday, bunch of RBIs. The dude is hot, and he rakes against German Marquez, who they are playing on Tuesday in Colorado. The ball flies, great numbers, 4 home runs in his career off of Marquez, and then I can go to FanDuel Sportsbook and get 50% profit boost on him to homer. So for Dinger Tuesday on FanDuel Sportsbook, and we've been really good at these, give me Max Muncy to homer with a 50% profit boost. So go check that out. And remember, you must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C. Opt-in required. Bonus is issued as a non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Fun show. A lot to talk about this week. Remember, Jacob Mizorowski versus Paul Skeems coming at you Wednesday. Do not miss that. But everything is rolling. We are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark of the season, which is insane. We are less than a month away from the All-Star game in Atlanta. We're getting closer as well to the Speedway Classic, which I will be at in Bristol at that racetrack, which is the Atlanta Braves versus the Cincinnati Reds. So a lot of fun things coming up. John Smoltz will be back on the show in just a couple days, as he is every single week. But I appreciate every single one of you for watching and listening. If you listen, wherever you're listening, please hit that subscribe or follow button. Leave a 5-star review. It does really help. And if you are listening and have never watched, check out our YouTube channel. Flippin Bats Pod is the YouTube channel. We are getting closer and closer to 56,000 subscribers there. I love talking to you guys in the comments of every show. So if you're watching, please make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. All that really helps. And I do hop in all the comments and respond to you guys and have a fun conversation about the episode. Really appreciate that. And follow us on all social media at Flippin Bats Pod everywhere for some fun videos, some updates on the show, some quotes, some graphics, all that good stuff. We put out a lot of fun stuff on our Flippin Bats Pod socials, so check those out everywhere. But I appreciate you all. I love you guys. This is the best community in baseball. 2025, the year of Flippin Bats. Things are rolling. Love you all. Until John Smoltz in a couple of days, enjoy baseball, and remember, find your bat and flip it. Flippin Bats is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, an affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.